You probably think you know me. You see me in your fields, you see me on your plate, but honestly, that's really just the end of my story. I want to tell you the beginning, a story that you'll see is also yours.
You see, I wasn't always this organized. Standing in these neat, disciplined rows. My kernels weren't always so plump and sweet. No, before all of this, I was something else entirely. I was wild. So let's go way, way back, thousands of years ago. Back before we even had a name for the partnership we have. A time when I grew for myself and for myself alone.
Back then, I was called Tia Sinti. I was just this tough little wild grass, swaying in the mountain valleys of the place you now call Mexico. My seeds were tiny, really small, and each one was locked away inside this hard protective shell. They weren't exactly a gift to be eaten. They were a promise for my own survival.
Oh, I knew how to survive. Droughts, floods, you name it. I was strong, totally self-sufficient. But my life was small. I didn't carpet the land, not like I do now. That would come later. For millennia, that's just how I lived. And then everything changed. Someone noticed me. Your ancestors. They reached out a hand, and it wasn't to take, but to offer something brand new. A partnership.
Now this is important. This wasn't a story of domination. It was about mutual care, about creating something together. You could call it a revolutionary act of coevolution, a kind of dance between human intention and my own willingness to change. Your ancestors saw potential in me that I couldn't even see in myself.
Season after season, they walked among me. They listened, really listened. They observed which of my children stood tallest, which one offered a seed that was just a little bit softer, and they gathered those chosen few, saved them, and planted them in special gardens. With every cycle, their care became a part of me.
And through this incredible partnership, I was transformed. My hard, protective shell, it just fell away. My body softened and opened up. My tiny seeds swelled, becoming these plump, sweet kernels. No longer hidden, but offered freely.
And with my new abundance, I completely changed the human world. At first, I could feed a family, then a whole village, and on the strength of my kernels, great civilizations. I'm talking about the Maya and the Aztec. They rose. I became a foundation of society itself.
You know, in some traditions, that became a saying. But it wasn't a metaphor. Not at all. It was a literal truth. The people who cared for me ate me, and I became their bones, their muscle, their blood. We were and are inseparable.
But our journey together was just getting started. As people migrated and explored, they took me with them. I was a source of life, you see, far too important to ever leave behind.
From my home base in Mexico, I traveled north, becoming one of the famous Three Sisters to the Haudenosaunee people. I journeyed south, climbing way up into the high Andes. And then, much later, I crossed the great oceans, finding new homes and new partners in Africa, Europe, and Asia.
And in each new place, I changed. I learned the rhythms of new soils and new seasons. I became red, blue, yellow, and white, adapting to the needs and the tastes of the people who grew me.
But in the modern world, that relationship started to fray. The story took a different, much colder turn.
I was taken from the gardens and the small farms, away from the hands that knew me, the careful attention, that listening. It all just faded. I was put into a new system.
I became a commodity, just a number on a stock exchange, an abstract raw material, an ingredient in these massive, complex systems that had no memory of the valleys where I was born, or of the partnership that gave me my generous form in the first place.
Now, I'm more widespread than ever. My essence is in the sweeteners in your drinks, in the feed for your animals, even in the fuel for your cars. I'm literally everywhere. And yet, so often, I'm completely invisible.
So when you encounter me now, in all these hidden forms, do you recognize me? Do you know my story? Am I still truly known?
But my story isn't over. My true self hasn't just disappeared. It lives on. It lives on in the memory of our relationship, just waiting to be rediscovered.
I am still here, and if you find me as a whole cob, if you grind my kernels into flour, if you prepare me with care, and you eat me with an awareness of where I come from, I can still offer you that deep nourishment I have always held.
That is what the system has tried to make me, just a simple unit of energy, a fuel. But that is not what I am.
My very existence is the story of a sacred bond between a plant and a people. Every single kernel holds the memory of that care, that listening, that partnership. That is the real nourishment I offer.
I am not just a product. I am not just an ingredient. I am a living story, a testament to a relationship thousands of years old. I am corn,